Alright guys, back with a really interesting video. So Mark Nixon just posted this over on X. Go check him out if you haven't already. But he says on CBC, U.S. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra just exposed the Canadian media. He says our media helped push the 51st state narrative, all to benefit Mark Carney and, quote, prove Canadian sovereignty. I think a lot of us have actually been thinking about that, but let's have a look at what Peter Hoekstra has to say here. And just before we do get into it, please do not forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel.
But you can understand the skepticism, can't you, Ambassador, on this side of the border? Because, you know, the 51st state stuff, and I know you said that was gone away, but then the president put it out on social media. If you join, you get Golden Dome for free.
Let's get it clarified. I said it was away unless the president or Carney decided to bring it up. And coincidentally, I think you could make a credible case that as the president brought it up, maybe the Canadians were bringing it up, and maybe the media was bringing it up at the same time. It wasn't just the President of the United States with his tweet. It was 36 hours of nonstop media coverage and Canadians talking about, this is proving our sovereignty. And it's kind of like you're thumping the president in the chest for 36 hours, and you shouldn't be, But
you can understand the
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Yeah, Trump was bringing up the whole 51st state thing, which, by the way, I still think he's not even serious. Think about it, right? If you're a Republican president, why would you want Canada to join the United States? The Republicans would never win again. You know, liberal that most of like big cities in Ontario and Quebec and the Maritimes are. You want that added to the vote totals? You're never going to win. The only provinces or states he would win would be Saskatchewan and Alberta. Even then, I think there's quite a few liberals in Alberta too. And there's also a lot of conservatives who don't like Trump. So however many electoral votes or college that we get in an American election, they're almost always all going to go to the Democrats. That's going to help them win. So not a really good idea. And then you have the Canadian media taking it very seriously. Oh, Donald Trump's going to overthrow our country and take us over and he's going to invade us. No, he's not. That was never the case. And then Doug Ford with his stupid, if they don't drop the tariffs, we're going to shut their power off. Yeah, good luck with that. That's why he never did it. Because he knew he wasn't going to ever do something like that. But either way, I mean, the Canadian media, they were the ones who were really getting people excited about this. And Mark Carney as well. Every time they were in front of a microphone or every time their camera was on, it was 51st state, Trump threat, tariff this, Trump that. And it scared people. And they knew it was scaring people, and they saw what was happening in the polls, and they just kept playing to it, and it worked because Canadians voted off of fear, not of change. When there's an issue going on, especially a major one like a potential trade war, Canadians often don't vote for change because they're scared, and they know that, and that's why they push the fear narrative. That's why Justin Trudeau called an election in 2021. Because he knew that during the pandemic, most people still were on his side. Now, he barely won, but he did. People did not want change. Or not enough people wanted change, I should say that. But this is the kind of fear-mongering election tactics that the liberals have been using here in the United States, or here and in the United States, rather. The Democrats use it all the time. Donald Trump's a dictator, all this crap. It's just to scare people. They're trying to scare people into voting for the destruction of their country. And it didn't work in the United States, but it's working here. It's working here big time. And that's why Mark Carney's the prime minister right now. Not because of his policies. Not because of the way he speaks. It's not because he's a nice old man. It's because people were afraid of Trump and they think that Mark Carney was an outsider and he was the best way to deal with him. All those left-wingers who apparently don't like rich old white men really awfully like rich old white men when they feel like it, don't they? They really like rich old white men when they feel like it or when they're scared into doing it. And Canadians are easily scared. Not all of us, but it's very clear that a lot of people believed everything that they heard during the pandemic, and they still do. And there's a lot of people that still think that Mark Carney's this outsider who wasn't Justin Trudeau's advisor for 5 years. There's just some people you can't convince. And they get the fear in their head, and they can't think critically, and that's a wrap. Unfortunately, now we're stuck with Mark Carney for at least a little bit. But let me know. What do you think? Do you think the media had a huge part in Mark Carney's success? Is Pete Hofstra right? Sorry, Pete Hoekstra. Do you think he's right? I have a feeling he's right. In fact, I know he's right. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate your comments. Please, again, do not forget to like and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.